We are going to dive into this because this is something that a lot of women do struggle with, clearly, right? Like I had a lot of signups. I just want to make sure I'm recording. Yes, I am. Okay, I had a lot of signups and like I did the cortisol belly before, which Amy and Diane, I'm not sure if you guys came to that one. I feel like you both did. Um, but yeah, it's not just cortisol. So I really want to chat about how our different hormones mess with us, as we get older and the effect that that has on belly fat and just energy and body composition in general. Um, so yeah, tell me if this is something that you have felt like, you've dealt with specifically. Eating clean, eating healthy, but still not seeing results. Having
Mm,
fat gain specifically in this region. So like a lot of women come to me and this is a very specific thing I hear is like specifically in the belly, the hips and the thighs.
definitely.
Yeah. How about feeling exhausted when I mean it's normal to feel somewhat exhausted in life, but feeling just more exhausted than you think you should, if that makes sense.
Some days, not
Mm-hmm.
typically.
Okay. And then how about like
I
craving?
definitely also
Go ahead.
cravings. Oh, I was just gonna say, like, the hormone thing is for sure, like, that resonates with me just with regards to my reproductive health. So, like, definitely
Yes.
stubborn belly fat. I just found out that I have two uteruses.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so there's that.
That's
And
wild.
so it is wild. So with PCOS and endo combined, plus that, it's just like no wonder I struggle so hard in
Absolutely.
this area. So anyway,
Yeah.
this is something that, yeah, I definitely, the fatigue, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So my endurance is definitely depleted, like after, just 3 days of work kind of thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I do resonate with those things for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing, yeah, like PCOS and like having those diagnoses, it's good to have that information, but sometimes you get that info and then you're like, well, what does that really mean? Or like, you know what I mean? Like besides medication, obviously, it's kind of like what are the other things you can do to support that and like hopefully help it impact you less and get better with time, right? Yeah. But yeah, feeling like general crap. Feeling, you know what I mean? Like just doing all the things, but being exhausted, being groggy. Well, we're going to actually get into symptoms a little bit more. But I just wanted to kind of start with like the main basic ones. And the things that I hear a lot is like doing all the right things, eating healthy, exercising, but still not seeing the changes. And then just like exhaustion, mental fatigue, irritability, moodiness, cravings. Those are all related to hormones. And a lot of us do experience it more as we, get older, like especially over the age, I just say 35. It's different for everyone. But again, I am over 35. Most of my clients are over 35, and these are very common things, right? So, oh my gosh. I don't know how to get to the next. Oh, there we go. Okay. You guys can still see the screen. Everything's good on that end.
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so you ladies probably already know this about me. I like to talk a lot about myths and lies and like how diet culture really doesn't help any of this, like any of our goals, because a lot of times it can actually make things worse. So some of the myths of like how you should approach losing stubborn fat, and approach improving your body comp is like just eat less, move more. That one's really annoying. Um, Dieting is another very common, very annoying one, right? Like just being told, like, well, maybe you just need to eliminate a whole food group, or maybe you just need to slash your calories to 1,200 calories a day. And then, along with that goes out like cutting out specific things. I'm not saying we should all sit here eating donuts all day, but we also don't need to eliminate completely any like entire food group and including sugar and carbs, right? Like a lot of times those are really the ones that get the most demonized is like, okay, just cut out carbs. You'll lose weight. Just cut out all sugar. Or sometimes people say like coffee is what's giving you cortisol. Yes, it can play a part, but coffee alone is not a demon food that is causing you to get fat, right? So just kind of realizing there is a lot of myths, lies, and misinformation out there.
Yep,
And
I
like,
could check off all four of those.
right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, because I know, yeah, Diane, when you started with me, you said like you dieted your whole
In-
life and you tried all these things and
Mhm. Yep. Like
they were not working.
the intermittent fasting and then the 1200 calorie one. Yep. Those two.
Absolutely. Yeah. And intermittent fasting, that's hard to say. That one is so popular right now.
Mhm.
And it can be helpful for some people, but honestly, when it comes to women getting older, and dealing with hormonal fluctuations, it's one of the worst things you can do. And we're going to actually get into why.
Mhm.
Yeah. So basically, why do these actually, like, why does taking that extreme approach actually make things harder when it comes to fat loss? Stress. If I was just to lump this whole paragraph into one word, it would be stress. The more that we stress our body and the more that we signal to our body, like we are unsafe, we can't rely on food coming in steadily, we don't know where our next meal is coming from. I'm being a bit dramatic, but you know what I mean. Like when we're fasting or when we're eliminating foods, we're actually creating an environment for our body that it doesn't feel safe. And we actually just end up feeling more depleted when we're doing the wrong things, right? So when you're out of balance, the signals from your body and your hormones are that it needs more nourishment and the correct nutrients, right? Not less. And I think so often we just say, okay, eat less, move more, restrict more, but really your body is asking you for nutrients, and some other things, which we're going to get into. But yeah, so just cutting out foods really doesn't help and it's not sustainable. That's another massive part of it is like, how long can you do Weight Watchers or, 1200 calories for, or keto or whatever it may be? Most people can't sustain it.
Yep.
Yeah. And then also when it comes to exercise, so like, again, movement is great. I'm never going to say like don't do cardio, but like if you're kind of over focusing on the wrong types of exercise, as in like just more calorie burning workouts, whether that's HIIT, whether that's Orange Theory, I'm not trying to knock them specifically, but like those types of classes, right? Boot camps. I mean, I teach boot camps and I love them, but if we are overtraining in the wrong ways, we're actually just creating more stress. We're spiking our cortisol. There's a better way to train, especially for women as we get older. So a lot of this does have to do with where are you at in life and what are you already dealing with. When you're 20, that's great. When you're 40, you know, whatever, you have PCOS, like we need a different approach. Yeah. Does that make sense so far?
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Amazing. I wanted to show some sorry, I'm just popping out to make sure nobody's like in the waiting room. Oh, we're good. Okay. Make this big again. So I just want to show some before and afters because I think these are super powerful to see. And I mean, you ladies have probably already seen these before,
Mhm.
because you're already in my world. But yeah, this is just proof. I think sometimes we do need proof, really, to be like, because so many women come to me and they're like, okay, well, the only way I've ever lost weight in the past or I've ever seen results in the past, was when I did this crazy elimination diet or when I was doing Weight Watchers or when I was working out 7 days a week. And it's like, I always say you have to really honestly prove to yourself that there is a different and better way that's more sustainable and that's actually going to support your hormones. So this is just some proof of like, hey, you don't have to run on fumes. You don't need a magic detox. You don't need to eliminate everything that you love in life to see results. There is a better way. Rebecca lost over 100 pounds, so I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, man, she looks phenomenal.
She does. And the thing I
Hey,
love about her
yeah,
is it's like she's following everything that I taught. I mean, all my clients that do well are following what I teach them, but like very much not about restriction or extremes or anything like that. And she just really like trusted the process. Because I mean, 100 pounds that takes a while. You got to be patient and yeah.
totally.
Yeah, she looks amazing and she's strong. It's not like, oh, she just lost weight. Like she's also like lifting and has energy and, just like all of these other great things. And she also just said the other day that she doesn't need meds for her thyroid because before she was needing that. So that's super, super awesome.
She's off of medication, which is like such an like it's a all-star goal. Like,
Right?
yeah,
It's huge. Yeah. So awesome. And then yeah, Amanda on the left, just amazing also. And like she was going to the gym for years, like she was doing all the things, right? So with her, it was just like dialing in the macros, dialing in the actual type of training she was doing, and then like she's killed it as well. So um so cute little pyramid I made. I think it's cute anyways. Um, where do results come from? If they don't come from dieting and slashing all this stuff, like what actually works? I think it's so important to bring it back to like science, right? Not gimmicks. So really 90% of your results are going to come from total daily energy, just meaning your calorie balance. Then your macros, and then sleep, stress, and hormones, which of course is what we're talking about more today. The top 10% is nutrient timing and supplements. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I like to talk about that because a lot of people also focus on supplements a lot, more than they need to. And supplements are literally the sprinkling on top of the icing on top of the cupcake. Like when you're doing everything else, then you can add it. Not that you can never add in supplements, but like when you're doing everything else, the supplements will help you get more of a result. When you're not doing the base 90%, the supplements are probably just costing you money and really not doing much for you. So, not to say they don't have a place, but yeah, anyways, people focus too much on that. And then nutrient timing, we're not going to talk about that today, but that's just like how often should you eat? You know, do you need to eat before and after your workout? Like getting more nitpicky with when you're eating. Um, but yeah, the stress, the sleep, and the hormones, I can't really give that a percentage. Like, there's no research that says this is 25% of your results or something like that. But I just put it into the base because it's kind of like the silent factor, right? Or like the missing link that people don't necessarily think about. And if those three things are not supporting you, like when you're eating right and training right, it's still going to have a huge impact on your results. Yeah. So, you know, in my programs, like we do talk a lot about calories and macros because, of course, that's like the gas in your tank of your car. Like you really can't get away from that. You need enough fuel. You need the right amounts of fuel. You need your protein, carbs, and fats. So they are what drive your weight change and your body composition, right? Like your fat versus muscle. But hormones again, are the silent killer, if you want to call it that. They drive where the fat goes, how easy it is to burn it, and whether or not your body feels safe to let it go. So that last part can sound a little like woo woo or whatever, but it's so true, right? Like our central nervous system is also getting signals all the time. And that's why if we're restricting, we're not eating, we're not sleeping well, we're not dealing with our stress, like we're going to be literally in survival mode. When you're in survival mode, what do you think your body wants to do? It wants to hold on to your like literal fat, right? It wants to hold on to everything, and keep things stuck, stagnant, not moving. And that's why sometimes people are doing, all the tactics, but they're not able to lose the fat. And it's like, well, what's going on with your stress and your hormones? So that's what we're going to dive into. You guys can stop me at any time if you have a question or anything.
Um, good so
no,
far.
just listening.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, today we're going to talk about a few different hormones. I want to start this by saying, obviously, I am not an endocrinologist. I am not like a hormone specialist. You guys know that. But I am a trainer who wants to be as holistic as possible. So I do think it's important to talk about this stuff. However, I cannot sit here and like diagnose you, right? You have low estrogen. Like, I'm not here to tell you that. I'm just here to say, hey, this could be what's happening. This could be what it looks like, and then this could be what you could do to support that. So I just want to disclaimer. Okay. Estrogen and progesterone, I hope I'm saying that right, I called these your mood and hormone dynamic duo. So, as women, these are kind of running the show. All the other hormones we talk about today are going to impact and play, like everything is cycling into each other and impacting each other. But what are the signs and symptoms of like it could either be high or low estrogen? With progesterone, it does drop significantly, especially in menopause, around the time of menopause. So these are good. It's not like any of these are good or bad. We just want them in balance, right? So signs for all of these hormones we're going to talk about today, all of them, a sign is belly fat, which I find like fascinating. And I used to be the trainer. Like I've made videos making fun of people that say things like bat wings. Like I hate talking. I don't know. I hate like kind of pulling apart women's bodies. And you know what I mean? And being like, oh, let's blast your bra fat or let's blast your bat wing. So I don't even really like saying belly fat. That being said, this is something so many people struggle with, and it is linked to like deeper health, and that's why we do focus on it. So that's also just a disclaimer to be like, I kind of hate pulling apart your body parts, but I mean, you want to feel good in your body, and you also want to look at it and ask, what is it signaling to me? So like if suddenly you're storing fat in an area you never have, that is a sign from your body, right? And it is important to kind of dive a bit deeper. I'm rambling. So anyways, belly fat is a symptom or a sign of all of these hormonal imbalances. And it's going to be stored like visceral and on top, right? So visceral meaning it's surrounding your organs. That is the more dangerous type of belly fat to have. Whoops. Yeah. And then yeah, that like having that belly fat sitting on your organs also does a lot of metabolic damage in different ways. Anyways, I don't want to get into all of that. Like we're only on point one and I can just talk about belly fat. It's a sign, it's a symptom, right? That something is changing. Other signs of these being out of whack is like increased PMS symptoms, your period's changing, you have a lowered sex drive, just feeling more irritable, anxious, depressed, brain fog. None of these are fun to have, right? Hot flashes, night sweats, interrupted sleeps. And I put having no chill because like progesterone is the hormone that helps you feel calm, cool, and collected. So that is a signal, right? If you're like just always stressed out, always on edge, go, go, go mode, that could be more of a hormonal thing than like, oh, life is stressful. I mean, that could be part of it as well.
Did you say progesterone is your chill
Yeah.
hormone? Okay, I didn't know
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many hormones and they do so many things, right? Like, so serotonin is like your happy,
Right.
like that's the one I always call like your happy hormone. But yeah, progesterone just helps your nervous system like calm down basically. That's one of the many things it does. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And then so culprits of this and a lot of these like culprits or things that contribute are going to be the same for a lot of these hormones or like very similar. So chronic stress is a massive one. Under eating, not having enough protein and carbs, and poor gut health. Those are pretty. This is a little bit of an oversimplification, right? But those are like top of the top three things that can be impacting these two hormones.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna talk about leptin and ghrelin. Do you ladies know what those ones are?
I've heard of leptin.
I should,
Yeah.
but I'm not super familiar.
Yeah. Okay. So Hunger Game hormones, I'm just trying to be whatever. I'm just a nerd and just trying to be cute. Really, these are what regulate your appetite. So ghrelin, I always think of as like gremlin. That's how I remember which one is which. It is the hunger hormone. So when your ghrelin is elevated and you have decreased leptin sensitivity, you're gonna feel hungry all the time. So leptin is like the satiate. Again, some of these words I think I say them wrong, but satiety, however you say that, that's what makes you feel like satisfied after you eat a meal. So it's signaling when you're full, and then ghrelin is signaling when you need more food. And this is a big one, and this is like very closely associated with obesity, right? So like people that have obesity, they are gonna have dysregulated leptin and ghrelin for sure because they're actually not receiving like there's so much more to it than just like, oh, you need to make better food choices or like you're eating too much. Well, they're actually getting these signals, yeah, like the signals are messed up. So they're not feeling full after eating. That's a huge one. And that's again, that's related to ghrelin. And like the main culprits for this, it's interesting because it's more of like a modern day issue because really it comes down to your circadian rhythm, right? So circadian rhythm is just like the natural cycle of waking up in the morning, going throughout your day, your energy is supposed to spike, your cortisol is supposed to naturally spike midday. And then as the day goes on, you get tired, you get ready for bed, and you have a good sleep. So when our circadian rhythm is messed up, directly impacts our hunger. And I mean, I think we can all feel this. Like if I stay up late one night, or like when Memphis was not sleeping through the night, and was keeping me up all night, like I just was way more hungry. I wanted sugar. I didn't feel as satisfied when eating. Like when I'm tired, I want to eat crap. So I'm like, I could literally feel it like the day. You know what I mean? Or like when I used to party and then I'd be hungover. Like, yeah, it's your sleep cycle is really going to impact these. So like shift workers, um, anyone who's not getting kind of like regular sleep with their natural circadian rhythm is probably going to feel, more cravings, more sugar cravings, less satisfied when they eat. So I just find this one really, really interesting. And also modern day problem because it's related to light. So getting sunlight early in the morning is super important to regulate our leptin sensitive. Like it helps us with leptin sensitivity. And, we're all like staring at screens all day. That also can impact, well, it does impact these hormones. So, yeah. So this would look like, again, fat storage, feeling hungry all the time, not having a morning appetite, sugar cravings, especially at night, and then like mood swings and anxiety. These are all signs and symptoms of these ones.
Interesting.
Yeah, I find it pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to talk about cortisol. So I did a whole workshop on this. I have lots of stuff on cortisol. This is kind of the one that I think is in the spotlight right now. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are like demonizing cortisol, right? Like, oh, it's so bad. It's not a bad thing. All of these hormones are wonderful and they all have a place in your body. But when our cortisol is like chronically elevated, and it's not allowed to come down how it should be, we're also going to feel very frazzled. Belly fat is a symptom. Sleep issues are a big symptom. So, like, specifically waking up between 2 to 4 a.m. Does that happen to any of you?
I'm awake every 2 hours.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a baby and I don't.
Oh,
Yeah, my shift work makes me wake up a lot. Not to mention pain on top of it.
yeah. Yeah, that's hard. And that's hard to say. Is that more related to those things, right, than necessarily like cortisol? But it could be. It could be part of it. Sorry, I have to quickly send sorry guys. This is going longer than I thought. I don't know why I thought I could do this in 20 minutes. And I don't want to rush this. I'm just supposed to, yeah. Okay. Need to send a message. Yeah, this is like a telltale sign though. Like if people are waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason, that's often like, okay, it's a raised cortisol thing. And then also like having energy crashes in the afternoon, um, is a big one. So like 2 to 4 p.m., you will feel you'll feel yourself just crash, and then it's like you need coffee, you need sugar, you need something to pick you up. Wired but tired is literally how you're going to feel when your cortisol is chronically elevated. Um, yeah, and then bloating, water retention, hormonal acne. Who here feels like they have cortisol? Too much cortisol.
I only have the first two issues. I really can't say that the other ones are something that I struggle with. So
Yeah,
that's good for me.
that is good. And this is directly like people always call this the stress hormone, which is also completely very tied to chronic stress.
Mhm.
which I can identify with.
Hmm.
Learning not to be, but it's, again, with the type of life that I have or had, like, yeah, natural stress just kind of, well, it's not that it's natural, it's just like the stressors of my life are there and prominent. But yeah, like cortisol, I don't know. There's so many like myths that it's not
Yeah.
even a real thing, and like
Mm.
mhm.
Yeah, that's so true. That's the thing, because it's become such a like hot topic in the fitness, health, whatever, just health industry. So many people are like, "Oh, hormones don't do anything to your body," and that's BS, and that's just marketing. And I'm like, no, like the truth is always somewhere in between, right? Like, and that's why with the pyramid, like, yeah, if we're talking like only about like fat, for example, right? And like body composition, yes, your calories and your macros are the base and they're going to dictate everything. But again, this is going to dictate like where your fat is being stored. Is your body allowing itself to detox how it naturally should be? Like, it does have a huge impact. And I think just so many women, like with our lives being more stressful and high paced, like not just women but men of course too, but like more women are wondering like, why do I feel crappy? You know what I mean? Like, what is, like, there's more going on. And I think it's so true, and I think that's where like hormones really are, yeah, a huge factor. So it's not a myth. Some people might over um it's not a myth, but I do want to add something is like some influencers or doctors, even like there's definitely people out there who are saying like everything wrong in your life is related to hormones. And I'm like, no, that's also not. That's like an oversimplification. And that probably is like marketing. Right. So yeah. I hope that makes sense.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, okay.
Okay, we're going to do one more hormone. I mean, there's so many hormones in the body, but insulin is also really important to chat about a little bit. And also it's more talk. I think like a lot of people are talking about it and more wanting more information on like blood sugar regulation, right? Because that's probably another like thing that you hear about a lot. And there is different theories and different people telling you like what to do to regulate your blood sugar. And some of that is also oversimplified. But insulin essentially is like your blood sugar regulating hormone. So again, one of the main signs of like decreased insulin sensitivity is belly fat storage. That's a huge one. Sugar cravings and energy crashes, which makes sense because if your body is not able to regulate the sugar, when your insulin spikes, it will like when you have issues with, sensitivity to insulin, it'll spike really high after you eat and then it'll like throw itself back down. Some of that is normal, right? Like you're going to have fluctuations in your blood sugar and in your insulin. That's totally normal. But if you feel like completely drained and tired and you literally need a nap after you eat, that's a big sign that you need like your insulin is sorry, there's an issue with insulin sensitivity. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and sugar cravings, right? And I mean, sugar cravings can be more than just this. There's a lot that goes into that. But if you're specifically craving sugar and it's like habitual, routine, it's not really feeling like an emotional eating thing, it's feeling more like a physiological thing, it probably is related to insulin. Some of that's just habit. So I don't want to oversimplify that either. But yeah, other symptoms of this would be like inflammation, puffiness, just feeling hungry all the time, even after you eat, hormonal headaches, and hormonal acne, skin flares. The biggest culprits here is again like not having good quality sleep. So like prolonged, I call it sleep debt because it's more of like prolonged chronic issues with quality of sleep that will eventually impact your insulin sensitivity. Not having enough muscle mass is a huge one. So muscle is some people call it your insulin sink. I like that term. It just helps regulate so you don't have those like highs, lows, and crashes with blood sugar, right? Muscle is metabolic, like it is doing the work of regulating your hormones for you. Chronic stress and not eating enough protein and low fiber are going to impact these ones. And that's why even with sugar cravings, I always say, like, I have a lot of clients who, when we do the meal plan and then they increase their protein, suddenly they don't have sugar cravings. That's like, I hear that all the time. And I love hearing that because I'm like, yeah, you probably just weren't eating enough protein. So it might not even be insulin. That's why I'm like, could be, could not be, but like just increasing your protein and fiber, you're going to feel so much more satiated. So whether that's a hormonal thing or just like your body uh needs those nutrients to feel good. So cool. Before we move on to the next little section here, it won't be too much longer. I'm just going to give the actual like tips. How do we balance and support our hormones? Does anyone have questions about any of the like different hormones or like symptoms that we just chatted about?
I don't think so.
No?
It was news. I didn't know some of the like the leptin and gremlin or whatever how I say it. That kind of thing. So it's been interesting, but I'm interested to hear what you have to say next.
Yeah. Awesome. And we can always have like, I'll give some time for questions or feedback at the end too. Okay, so what can we do to actually help? That's the most important thing. And a lot of this is, like Diane, we do this together already, right? Like, so in my program, like a lot of this is not new necessarily, but it's just like looking at it through the lens of like hormone regulation, I guess, is what's new. But some of this might be new to some of you. So number one is metabolic movement and nutrition. So everything I teach and coach on is based on this as the base, right? Really, I'm obsessed with growing your muscles and giving you protein. And there's a reason. And it's because like we're not really taught this, right? Like it's getting better and there's more coaches that are teaching this and there's more education, but still there's like that diet culture thing of like you should be running and like doing light weights to tone your muscles and like just starving yourself. Like that narrative is still out there. So it's like, no, if you want your body to function, if you want to get rid of stubborn fat, and if you want to actually have energy and health, we need to focus on metabolism. And by metabolism, I literally just mean muscle, honestly, like not hulking you out or becoming a bodybuilder, but promoting your lean body mass. So supporting your muscles and your bones, and that's going to help you like change your body composition and change your health, right? So
I think that was the key number one thing for me that I learned at the very start was that right there. That was news to me, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna put your picture in here, Diane, but I didn't with your face covered up. But
well, whatever.
But yeah, because I love that we've changed this approach for you, and it's like it is the game changer. And I mean, especially for women, and especially as we get older, like we need to be doing this. It's not even about like looking good, right? Like everyone wants that as a side effect. But it's about like health, taking care of yourself. And yeah. And when things aren't changing in the body, the answer is never do more cardio. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Like you can, like, yes, for your lungs and your heart, but that's not going to change your body, like change your body composition or, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah. So yeah, basically like strength training. So the rule of thumb is like three good focused strength training sessions per week is great. If you can't start with three, start with one. Like start wherever you can, whether it's 1, 2, or 3. 3 is going to be like optimal. You can also do 4, of course. Like those numbers don't matter, but 3 is kind of like where you're going to start to build muscle, see better results, right? And actually see the benefits of it. That's kind of the magic number. And then again, like you are helping improve your insulin sensitivity, you're increasing your metabolism, and it's going to help boost testosterone, which I did want to talk about today, but I didn't want to just talk about like, I didn't want to make this too long diving into the hormones. I wanted to give you what actually helps. But yeah, testosterone is also one that as women get older, it starts to deplete, and testosterone's not just for dudes, right? It's our drive. It is like I like to think of it, it is a masculine hormone, I guess, in a way. But like that helps support our muscle mass. When you can't lose fat, it could be because testosterone is lower than it should be, also, right? So that is one. Um, yeah. And then rest and recovery is also very important. So one of the things that stresses our hormones that I touched on earlier is like doing too much overtraining, right? Like if you're already a high stress person or just living in our modern society, which is stressful and demanding, we don't need to like continue to put more demands on our body and stress ourselves out. Yes, weightlifting does cause inflammation and stress, but it's the good kind, right? And then we also need to rest and recover. And that's kind of what I love about the lifting life is we realize like how important rest days are. I hope that makes sense. So your muscle will only grow when you're resting. Yeah. You tear it down in the gym. It doesn't have to be the gym. It could be at home with dumbbells or body weight, whatever. But when you're doing strength training, you're tearing the muscle. It can only regrow and repair when you're actually resting and recovering. And yeah, most women are doing too much. They need to actually chill a little bit. So like lift heavy, rest more, replace the thinking you need to be burning however many amounts of calories in those like crazy classes. If you replace it with strength training, you're going to see results.
This sounds like good logic to me.
Right?
Yes.
Totally. And then nutrition. So, this could be a whole other presentation because there's a lot that goes into it. But macro balance, just meaning you're getting proteins, you're getting fats, you're getting carbs. 99, let's just say every woman I work with needs more protein. I've never like had someone hire me and then they're like eating enough protein, honestly. That's it. That's never happened because you do have to be very intentional with it, right? And our society is just like not, it doesn't make it easy to quickly and easily and affordably access like quality protein, right? So it is something you do have to be aware of and be more intentional of. But yeah, like your protein is your muscles built, it's the building block of every cell in your body. But as far as metabolism, it is dictated by are you getting enough protein? Yeah. So like when you cannot shed fat, when you feel like you can't get toned and defined, are you eating enough protein is like a good place to start.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then rule of thumb is like 1 gram. Oh my gosh, my brain just went blank. So 1 gram of protein per pound of desired body weight, meaning if you want to lose weight, well, maybe you want to be 140 pounds, you're going to aim for 140 grams of protein. Again, it's a lot. Most of us are not getting it, but it is possible to get that or even close to it. Like even if you get 120 grams per day, as opposed to 60, which a lot of people are getting maybe only 60 a day, that's going to be the game changer. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but increasing your protein is going to make a massive difference. So yeah. And then fats are super related to hormones. We need essential fatty acids for hormone health. Like that is inseparable. So like healthy fats are just, fish, seeds, nuts, avocados, eggs. Very important to get enough. You don't need a ton of them, but you need enough. And that's why dieting and restricting things can actually be really harmful because fats and carbs are the two that are going to get, probably cut to the wayside, and those do impact your hormones a lot. So making sure you're getting enough fat. And then carbs. So most of us do get enough carbs unless we're like restricting dieting, that kind of thing. Most people are getting enough carbs, but are they getting quality carbs is the question. So by quality, I just mean mostly whole foods, right? This is like rice, sweet potatoes. Yes, you can eat bread. Yes, you can eat literally anything. But you want to have like whole food sources mostly. Yeah. And then fruits and veggies are like lumping into carbs, right? They are carbs, but those are your fibrous carbs, also super important. Yeah. And lastly, eat the rainbow. I say that constantly, but like it's really important also to get micronutrients. So to make sure you're getting micros just mean minerals and vitamins. To make sure you're getting enough, if you're eating colors, like different colored fruits and veggies, you're going to really help cover your bases. Yeah. And then the main ones that people are low on, and that do really impact your hormones. I listed them here: magnesium, zinc, B vitamins, and iron. All of those are amazing for you. Magnesium, I see very low in most. Most of my clients need more magnesium and iron. I mean, all of them, but
And this is
yeah,
such a better or a more fulfilling attitude towards nutrition than restrictive and I can't eat that food group, I can't eat that amount. This is my food freedom and it
yeah,
feels good.
yes. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about for me. Is like, you know, we're told constantly to restrict and cut things out and stop doing this, stop doing that. It should be about what do we need more of, truly,
Mhm.
because that's what people are lacking is what is causing the problem. I mean, sometimes, yeah, sometimes the portions are just too big, for sure, right?
Mhm.
But we don't need to focus on that. In my opinion, like that's just still the wrong way to focus on it. It's like if you up the protein and you up the fiber, you are going to be too full to overeat, like literally, because those are so filling and they're so nutrient dense. So it's like instead of saying, okay, you're eating too much, well, what are you not eating? And then can you get more of that? And then, yeah,
Right.
you can still fit in the stuff you like and the stuff you enjoy too, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah. Any questions about this one, like the movement, nutrition?
No, no questions. It's just reaffirming to me that I really need to like I stopped using MyFitnessPal to record for a while
Yeah,
just because of busyness, and I have started doing it again. And yeah, I want to make sure that I take the time that's needed to do that record so I can review and find out
totally.
what I've got going there.
Yeah. Yeah, and tracking is just such a good, yeah, I agree. Like it's such a good tool to make sure you're back on track, right? And I use it kind of like that, like periodically. I don't use it every day because
Yes. Hmm.
you don't need to,
No.
right? But like, yeah, yeah, it's good to reset and refocus and just
Yes.
see where you're sitting at. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so a big one, and we kind of touched on this already, but like supporting your body's circadian rhythm. So this is something, again, this is like a modern day issue. And I think this is why so many women are talking. I mean, we're talking about hormones because we're more aware, which is great, but also it's like the times that we're living in, there's so much more screen time. We're spending less time outside. Not everyone, but most of us are spending less time outside as a society. And it's like, yeah, those things really are important. And like if we take it back even 100 years ago or 50 years ago, it was a completely different lifestyle for most people. And I think the more we can not take everything back, into the olden days, but really
Mhm.
just get more in touch with like human biology, what is natural and what has been since the beginning of time. And I mean, humans should be outside. Like it's so important, right? It's kind of an obvious thing. And you just feel so good. Like if I go for a 10-minute walk, my mood is elevated, my energy is elevated. I can feel those instant payoffs. But also, you are supporting your hormones when you do just kind of these obvious things that maybe we forget to do sometimes. Um, yeah, so cortisol is tied to your circadian rhythm and is tied to stress levels. So getting outside, especially in the morning, and actually getting like sunlight into your eyeballs is very important for your circadian rhythm because it's signaling to your body it's morning. Again, it's such a basic thing, but it's like some of us don't do that or we forget to do it. I mean, I forget to do it. I wake up, I run out the door, I'm on my computer, I'm on my phone, like, and then if I go outside, I'm like, oh wow, of course, this is like very important to feel like a
Mhm.
good human. Yeah, and then it also helps with sleeping at night. So if you're having issues sleeping at night, like Diane, I feel like I feel like you are the type of lady to get outside a lot. But yeah, just like getting that morning sunlight can really help with melatonin production later in the day. Or like sorry, at bedtime.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that is I mean, I get outside and water my plants first thing in the morning, but I'm probably
Mhm.
out there for as long as I could be. I go for a walk, but it's usually later,
Right. Yeah.
and that's outside. So, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I can
what
get
time do
that
you,
done earlier.
yeah, because what time do you usually go for your walk at?
Well, it depends. Sometimes it's an after supper walk, or sometimes it's around 11, 10, 11
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
morning.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's still not bad. Like, I think ideally, optimally, everyone would be waking up and going directly outside, but that's not really realistic. But yeah, I think as long as
Mhm.
it's in the morning or like early afternoon, that's still great. Morning
Mhm.
would be optimal, but like 10 a.m. is still pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. A big one is just like sleep schedule. So research has shown that going to bed at a set time is way more important than the length of sleep, if that makes sense. So yeah, so like if you kind of go to bed, let's just say 10 p.m. every day, you wake up at 6 a.m. every day, that is more important, or like sorry, I should have used like a shorter time to prove my point, but that's more important than like getting 10 hours of sleep, for example, if you're
Mhm.
always going to bed at different times. And that's why shift workers, I think Amy left, but I know she does different
Mhm.
shifts and stuff. I feel for her. Because I first of all I couldn't do that. But second of all, it's like that is very disruptive to your natural rhythm. And like, yeah, you can adapt, and some people like it. Some people like night shift, and that's great if it works for you, but like it still does play a toll, unfortunately, on hormones, right? So it's like as much as you can try to be consistent with going to bed at a set time, waking up at a set time,
Mhm.
you're gonna thrive on that.
Yeah, I'm good that way.
Yeah.
I am typically an 11 to 7. And then
Okay.
when I have a look at that, I have a lot of wake up times, but
Okay.
generally I've got an hour deep sleep and a total sleep that is 8 hours, but I'm sleeping 7. So
Yeah. Yep.
it's
Well, that's
just the
good.
constant wake up that's the annoyance.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be very annoying.
Yes.
Yeah. And directly related, have you ever had your hormones tested?
Well, no, because who will do that?
I know it's hard. This is like a side note, but one of my clients does hormonal testing. She's a new client, and I'm going to meet with her. I want
Okay.
to hear more about what she offers because I would love to integrate it or just even offer it to clients, right? Like maybe not necessarily part of everyone's program, but just
Mm-hmm.
having her as a person that I can refer them to. Because
Mm-hmm.
she specializes in hormones. So I'm going to chat
Right.
with her more about it. I'll let you know what I
Yeah.
find out. But yeah, it's
I,
really hard to get your doctor to refer you for any of this. So
I would be interested to hear what you have to say
yeah,
then. Mm-hmm.
yeah, cool. I'll definitely let you know. Yeah,
Okay.
because I mean that's the thing. Like all of this info is great, and I do kind of get to this soon here. But like I'm not a hormone doctor, so it's like I can't diagnose. Obviously, you know that, but it's nice to know. Okay. What is actually happening and have that answer, and then you know how to approach it better for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
and then yeah, you bet. Another one is just like having a wind down routine. Because a lot of us were on our phones till bed, or maybe we're watching a movie or whatever. I listen to a podcast to go to bed. It helps me sleep. It's like if I hear someone's voice, I can just drone out. But I used to watch movies, and that's something I'm moving away from. So yeah, so like screens before bed, having that blue light does impact your melatonin. So anywhere from like 1 to 3 hours before bed, trying to cut off your blue light exposure. So like looking at screens is a really good one. Or you can also get blue light glasses. So
Oh,
those help. People can actually get screen. I should get one of these because I have blue light glasses and I lost them. They're somewhere in the house. But people can also get like a screen protector that dim or whatever. It helps filter out the blue light on your laptop or on your phone, which is also a really good one. But
I will check that out.
yeah, yeah. And then yeah, last point, just what I already said is like when you're sleeping, your body is in repair mode. So very important to try to get, as quality of sleep as possible and
Mhm.
help your body repair the hormones and do what it needs to do. Yeah.
Got it.
And then stress. Again, stress is, you know, it's not, it's something you're always going to have, I guess. We're always going to have stress in our lives. Stress is actually healthy in some ways when it's chronically always, when it's chronically elevated and when
Mhm.
we're not doing things intentionally to help regulate our nervous system, that's when it becomes a problem for hormones, right? So,
Mhm.
because I can't just say like, oh, be less stressed. Like that's silly. But these are some of the things you can do, right? Is like walking. Um, Breath work is my favorite thing to do because you cannot be stressed while you're deep breathing at the same time. Like it's just not physically possible. Another good one is actually humming.
Oh,
And I like
yes.
those. Yeah. When you
I've
hum,
actually got a humming playlist that I
oh,
use.
nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it puts you instantly into the parasympathetic nervous system. So instantly helps you calm down. And I like those too because everyone can breathe and hum.
Right.
Right? Like it's instantly available to you. And it can take literally 10 seconds, right? And just like thinking of incorporating it into your day more is a easy one to do. Um, Boundaries are huge, right? That's been a lifelong journey for me, is just like learning to say no to things that drain you. Magnesium is awesome. Do you take magnesium?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
I
Just
think I do
I
that.
have to go look what the details are on it, but yes, I do have magnesium.
Awesome. Yeah, and there is like two different types, right? So there's magnesium citrate and glycinate. Again, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but the glycinate form is more for stress. I mean, they're both good for stress. The citrate is really good for digestion. So if you're like constipated, that can be literally that's the best thing I ever discovered after having my son. But you
Right.
don't want to take that kind if you don't need basically like help go to the bathroom because then it'll kind of do what you don't. You know what I mean? Like it'll
Yeah.
be too much of that. But
I think
yeah.
mine is glycinate.
Yeah. Okay. I always want to say that because if people get the wrong kind, then they're like, "Oh, I'm having issues and this is not fun." So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, just journaling, like having some sort of practice. Again, like we're living in this really fast-paced world and everything's kind of coming at you 24/7. So whether it's reading a book, journaling, just having daily gratitude, that can really help to also attack stress, to balance stress, offload
Mhm.
stress. Yeah, and then this is just kind of like again, different things we can do to optimize our hormones. So, blood sugar balance, I touched on this a little bit already, but protein and fiber, right? Leans and greens. Doesn't have to be green, but protein and fiber really is the game changer. Again, for your body composition, for fat loss, for all of those other things aesthetically, but also for hormones, for insulin, and just feeling good and just being healthy. Protein and fiber.
Mhm.
So lean protein, fruits and veggies. I mean, there's other fibers that are not fruits and veggies, but most of us need more of those too. So cycle support. So when you are having a cycle, just paying attention, um, tracking your symptoms. Yeah.
That ship has sailed.
Yep. And then perimenopause support. So again, this comes back to everything I already said, but you do need a different strategy in this period of life than when you're in your 20s, right? Obviously. But like less food, more cardio is not the answer. I'm just repeating strength training, protein, recovery. That's really what's going to support your hormones.
Mhm.
And then regulating your hunger by this is all repeating. I'm just realizing very repetitive. So we kind of talked about all of this stuff. But yeah, gut health. We didn't really talk on that. So again, like if you're not digesting your food, you're bloated, you're constipated, or the opposite end of that, right? Like you're not like you're just going to the bathroom constantly. Like if something is wrong in your gut, that is going to impact all of your hormones. It's going to impact everything happening in your body because you're not absorbing and digesting and detoxing how you should be. So yeah. important to chat about that too. And again, fiber is massive for gut health. It's really, really important for gut health. But also, some people are eating too much of the wrong fiber. So, if you're eating raw veggies and your stomach is hating it, um, that's probably not the best solution either, right? So, just also paying attention to individually what impacts your gut, I think is huge because everyone has a different like recipe really for what their gut needs.
Okay.
Yeah. And then seeking professional help. So working with a trainer, me, can really help. But also, I am just I shouldn't say I'm just a trainer, but like I'm limited in what I do as a professional, right? So again, considering getting hormone testing, which is easier said than done sometimes. But yeah, we do
Mm-hmm.
need to advocate for ourselves, right? So your doctor can send you for testing, they just usually don't. That's the annoying thing about our system, right? There is endocrinologists out there, but often they're not going to refer you unless they think it's like some extreme drastic situation. Unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also you can, like I said, I'm going to chat with Courtney, my one client, and I am going to look into what she offers and hopefully I can offer that to my clients. Adaptogens. I love adaptogens because they literally I don't know if you ladies know what they are, but they are things that you eat that will go in and balance your hormones for you. Very cool. So like maca root is one that I have in my cupboard. I always forget to take it. Magnesium is very supportive again for helping balance out the hormones. Ashwagandha is another adaptogen. So it'll go into your body, it will help balance what's out of whack. But you do want to be careful with these things, right? Like you don't want to overdo it with supplements or herbs because sometimes they can have like side effects, right? So it's important to work with a provider and like double check with your doctor, honestly, even with natural things. Yeah. But if you're taking it like with the maca root, like I take it in moderation. I'm not scared it's going to do anything bad in my body, but you just don't want to, yeah, you don't want to overdo it, right? And you want to make sure it's not contradicting anything else. Yeah, and then gut and liver support. So again, like making sure we're supporting our detox pathways, which all of the stuff we talked about does. So the sleep, the stress management, like going for walks, all of these are going to support your natural detoxing, making sure you're eating whole foods, all of that good stuff, hydrating enough. But then again, if your gut is really signaling something's wrong, yeah, advocating for further testing because it could be a deeper, not even a deeper problem, but it could be a problem that is beyond what nutrition can do for you, right? So, yeah. And then, yeah, we're almost done here. But 5 things you could do today. I always like to give the info and then, like, well, what can we actually do right now to actually help? So, again, this is repetitive, but next meal, make sure you have a protein and a fiber on your plate. So I just gave some examples, but lean protein, cottage cheese, Greek yogurt, chicken, fish, and then some fruits, some veggies, or like a complex carb. De-stressing, so deep breathing. I put box breathing as an example. So that's just where you breathe in for 4 seconds, hold that breath for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold that for 4 seconds. That is also like such a powerful, super instant way to tap into that parasympathetic nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I taught my daughter that the other day. She was having a little bit of an anxiety thing, and she actually listened to something I told her, and she was like, "Worked, mom." I was like, "See, I know what I'm talking about," but it was kind of cool. And then yeah, after your next meal, move. So like move. But even walking 5 to 10 minutes after you eat supper, for example, can help to regulate your blood sugar. And it's just something quick you can do to get in more steps as well, right? Book in a weight training session. So by booking in, I just mean like planning when you're gonna do it, right? So planning to go to the gym, planning to go see your dumbbells, like just making sure you have a strength training session in mind and then putting it in your calendar. It's going to be a easy way to do that. And then just setting a bed time and a wake time. Easier
Got it.
said than done sometimes. Yeah. So that's all I got for that part of things. Do you ladies, yeah, is there anything, questions, feedback, key takeaways, something that was surprising?
I feel like this was, there's some new information in here for me, like some details that I didn't know, but it was reassuring that I am currently on the right track with the information that you have provided me. I just maybe need to focus a little more on certain areas. And no, I'm feeling good. This was great. I have one question. You
Yep.
had the previous cortisol workshop, and how do
Yep.
I watch it? Where do I go?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Okay.
I don't know if you if you're subscribed to my YouTube. I can send you the video. But yeah, so I did upload that one like publicly or whatever. I did one that was private that was just in my Facebook group, like my free Facebook group. But
Mhm.
I think it deleted it. Like Facebook doesn't keep lives more than 30 days anymore, which is a little bit annoying because I've done lots of
Yeah.
lives. But yeah, so I can send you the link for that one. And then
Super.
I'll send you, I also made like a PDF on cortisol and just like the best foods to eat to support that. So I can send you that also.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. You're welcome. Laura, sorry, I don't want to say your name wrong. I'm like Laura. Do you have anything to questions or comments if you can chat? I don't know if you can chat. Probably can't. Awesome. Okay, well, there's only the two of you here. I did end this with like, you can hire me if you want to, like, Diane, we're already working together. If you want to, get better results.
One of the best moves I've ever made was to hire
I love
you.
it.
So thank you.
Aw.